you go. We managed to start one this week without saying rude things. Hello, this is Dirty 20 Gaming. My name is Kevin. These wonderful people have joined me, and some of them have already fallen out of their chairs, have joined me tonight to play a silly game of D&D, because we only take it seriously every second Friday, and even that one got silly this week. So, let's get the foolishness out of the way and get to the foolishness. The technical foolishness, virtual tabletop of choice is Roll20. The tokens in this were created using Hero Forge, neither of which are my sponsors, but I thought I'd mention them. With that, let's mention the people that make this possible, the people that make this fun, the reason I keep coming back every week. There's only 3 of them this week, but that's okay. That just means that we get to focus more on each of them. Already... tipsy chats, throwing people out. I love it. Yeah. Drunk bouncer. Cool. The best kind. So, let's talk with these wonderful people. Let's do it in a different order this week. Let's start with Bison, the player of Bickford and other things. I know we were talking before the show about a upcoming campaign you're working on, but what have you got on the go?
I'm Bison. Mostly it's this. I normally stream on Tuesday nights on my own channel. I've been playing Tiny Tina's Wonderlands lately. It is an absolute fucking blast. And as I'm trying to type my thing in here,
yes.
And that's pretty much all I've been doing. I would stream this week, but I do have some other stuff that I'm doing, which Sarah will probably get into a little bit more.
Yeah, okay. I'll use that as a segue then. Segue.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us, Sarah. I know you're busy. You got like stuff and productions and shows and all kinds of things going on. Tell us what you will about what you will.
I have Tingor Productions, and that's my main channel. I'm currently working on a project called Bravely Broken. It is a mental health superhero project. I think that's all I can talk about right now without the other person here. And I'm also a writer over at the Scarred Adventure blog.
Cool, thank you. So I'm distracted because I'm adjusting cameras ever so slightly while we're talking. But that's 2 out of 3. That leaves 3 out of 3. The fine, the wondrous, the marvelous Solar Dasher. Thank you so much for joining us. I understand the surface of the globe is melting where you are, so thank you for taking time away from real world to come and play with us.
Yeah, 9 degrees Fahrenheit ain't no fun at all.
No, not for May. It's not even summer yet. That's nasty. But
that's El Paso for you.
And I gotta ask. I'm afraid I know the answer. But did you stream?
Too freaking hot.
Fair enough.
I need to get my AC going. We actually find an AC.
Oh yeah, you must. You must have.
So yeah, hopefully within the next week or so we can get one. In the meantime, I have a little tiny fan on me, and we have one room that has one portable AC that keeps it nice and cold in there. So that's kind of where I've been hiding.
I'll bet. Yeah, well, we'll get you back to that in a couple hours. But thank you for coming out into the heat and the muggy, because I know it's got to be muggy down there. But thank you for joining us.
Muggy, no, dry.
Oh, just dry.
It's a dry heat.
It's a dry heat. Yeah, like an oven.
And we have like fire weather warnings and everything else. One of those sparks can set up the whole city.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Bison and I know all about that.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to round 2 this year.
No, little part of the town that I live in was burned down a decade and a half ago now, but still. Anyway, let's get to this game. In the lair of an ancient, angry, red dragon. Any 2 of those words being bad when they're associated with dragons. But all of them together, probably suicidal. So of course, the only logical choice was to go into their lair, in amongst their horde. You have been knee-deep in gold and platinum for the last 40 minutes of your lives. You have walked past priceless weapons, objets d'art that people don't even know exist. You could retire on one of them, and yet you plod on to your mission and your goal. Maybe there is such a thing as too much. But in the midst of all that plenty, two of you, and in a moment a third, experience a very transcendent moment. A literally transcendent moment where you are about to speak with gods. So let's start with the one that isn't. Beowulf, you are outside of the Temple of Pelor. You've seen Bickford run in. You saw the creature chase him, get to the door, and just poof, in radiant light. Like, not allowed in here. You turn and look behind you. You can hear the sounds of battle behind you. What do you do?
The battle will be coming from over in this direction?
No,
Or
actually from
over
over
here?
here. Yeah, back where you guys came from.
Okay.
You know that Cain and Iticus are over there.
Knowing that Atticus could probably take care of himself right now,
Yep.
especially with Kane watching,
Uh-huh.
he's gonna go back towards the temple where he was before.
Okay, so back towards the Temple of Pelor. As you step up close, there's a you can see a flickering in the door. That place where that other creature hit it and just poof, was destroyed. So something you don't know what it's going to do, but you can see a flickering in that door. Beyond it, it's like looking through frosted glass. You can sort of see an outline, a shape. You don't know what it is, but it might be Bickford. You don't know.
He's gonna continue forward to the door.
You walk up and you touch the door, or
Yeah, he's gonna go ahead and give it a touch.
it's like touching. It's so hot, it's almost cold. It's like touching the surface of the sun. It's just. And as you do, around each finger that touches, there's an aura flash of pure white light, radiant light. For the sake of this, take 1 point of radiant damage.
He growls at it and says, "Why won't you let me the frack in? My friend's in there." But yeah, no, he's gonna basically get pissed off and just like grumble and what is it? Let me see here. Hold on. And infernal, he's just gonna grumble, moan, and groan, walking around looking at other places to see if he can get in a different way.
As you're walking around, every time the first time you speak something in infernal, you're walking past a sort of a pillar that's holding it up. It's almost like the Parthenon. It's pillars all the way around. And as the first time you speak in infernal, that pillar next to you starts to sparkle in white light, and it starts to reach out towards you. And when you stop speaking in infernal, it goes back.
He looks at it, gives it he gives it like a pissed off look, starts speaking in Sliven then.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, no reaction to anything else other than the
Fine,
infernal.
I'll talk like a tree. Screw you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure why I chose that for him, just because it was just a unique one. I didn't
Yeah.
think anybody else would ever choose it.
Oh, I love it.
So yeah,
It
he's gonna walk around talking Sliven and
Yeah,
just try and find a way in other than that door.
absolutely. You start to work your way around the building. You don't find any other way in. In fact, every time you try and force one or find one, you get that little sort of arcing of white, radiant light trying to stop you. You're clearly
he's
not
gonna-
supposed to go inside.
Yeah, he's gonna stand right there at the door then.
Yeah, okay, yeah, absolutely. Fine, I'll wait.
He's going to mix the common, the giant, the Slyvan, and the infernal, and just basically give a long, flat curse out.
Yeah.
Then yell out in common to Bickford, good luck, buddy. I can't do anything for you. And she just like run off this way.
You head back. Perfect. You get to there, and in the distance, you can see Kane's outline. It's very obviously Kane. They've got the horns, and you can tell them by now.
Yeah.
You see them. They're looking into the darkness ahead of them, and so you assume that Idicus must be up there somewhere. But then you see Kane just stand, turn, and walk right directly in this direction up here, right towards the dragon. And just walks off into the darkness.
Don't let me have anything of what she had.
But there was clearly a moment of, and then gone.
Mhm.
And that's where we'll stop with you. Let's go
Mhm.
to, who do I want to do next? Let's do Bickford. Inside the Temple of Pelor.
Feels like I've been in here for weeks.
Feels like you waited weeks to say that.
I might have.
Sorry.
You're sort of inside. You saw. I'll just recap from what you saw before. The walls in here are all burnt. They're all blackened. The pews are all charred. The pulpit is burned to the ground. There's nothing of any value left here. And yet somehow, now that you're inside, light is filtering. Pure, beautiful, wonderful, bright sunlight is filtering through from nowhere. You're in a cave under a volcano, and there's sunlight coming in the top of this temple.
Concerned. Bickford's never been in a Temple of Pelor before. He's dealt with paladins from Pelor, like Richard the Overly Righteous,
Yeah.
and Steve the Pedantic.
Yeah.
These he doesn't have very good relationships with them, and having his former job, and so he's still got the Morning Skull out.
Yep.
He's very, very apprehensive, and he's kind of checking corners.
You bet. You're looking around. Where the pulpit was starts to glow like a sun.
Squints and covers his eyes a little bit.
It starts to elongate and get longer and thinner, and then it starts to spread as well. Wings, a celestial form, entirely
crap.
made of light. An angel of Pelor, standing
crap.
in the destroyed pulpit.
This wasn't me.
Do you wonder why you got in here?
I am now.
Your friend could not. The creatures cannot. Even Klauth cannot enter here. Why you?
Your guess is as good as mine, buddy.
I don't have to guess. I know.
Just
They're just frozen. Yeah.
yeah. he's like,
Have you heard of Thor? A god in a nearby realm. Has of all things a magical hammer.
Sounds like a dwarf god.
Yes, but he's 8 feet tall because gods are fickle.
Compensating for something, maybe. I don't know.
Speaking of compensating for something, his hammer, only a certain kind of being can lift it. Does that help?
I know.
Yeah. And I'm willing to give Bickford that information.
Yeah. What, he like attuned to it or something? This magical weapon requires attunement?
Not quite. It requires a purity of purpose.
Okay, I know you can't be talking about me now.
The volume goes up in the voice, and the angel swells, and you see for a brief moment just a flicker of the terrible power that they actually represent. Stop fucking around.
Drops the morning skull.
Back to the angel. You're here because you, of all of them, have earned the right to be here. Because you, of all of them, care selflessly.
Slow blinking. He's not really processing. It's like, I've spent my entire life doing what's right for me.
Is that what you tell yourself? Is that why you don't understand? Think about it from outside of your head, Bickford. Think of what others saw. Even at your most juvenile, your most delinquent, you never hurt anyone. You played silly games, you knocked your friends about, but in your world, you were one of the gentle ones. How old were you when you started acting like a father? How old were you when you started acting like a grandfather? How old were you when you put the welfare of others before your own?
Bickford thinks long and hard. It's a couple minutes before he even seems to move. The tribe comes first.
Yes. But for how many of that tribe are those just words?
Is that why he chose me?
That, and he finds you amusing. It wasn't just their decision. You know we talk to each other, right? Us gods. Those of us with similar outlooks, at least.
I didn't think our bosses would be, chatty with each other.
We're not that different. We support our believers, and we smite those that need smiting. There might be a little difference on the smiting list, but all in all, we're surprisingly similar. Pick it up. And they
Slowly
look down.
reaches.
Yeah.
Yeah. Slowly reaches down. Doesn't have to reach that far. He's got long arms.
Yeah.
But
What do you pick up? What's changed?
he's not actually picking up the morning skull. The morning skull's on his back. He's picking up the idol of Groundcool, the one he took with him from the village.
And as you pick it up, you look at it, and it is Groundcool. and you realize there's some part of it you have never seen before. On one of those furry, nasty little fingers, there's a ring, little moonstone in it, glowing ever so pale.
That's new.
No, you just never saw it before. Just like you never saw a lot of things about yourself before. Expect a lot of new rings, Bickford. You're not who you thought you were. And you haven't changed.
So, there's got to be another reason you guys brought me here.
A few.
Figured.
Some I'm going to talk about and some of which I'm not. In your immediate future, you have the opportunity to save many of your tribe. The abilities given to you by Grand Cool have allowed you to reconnect them. Some would take advantage of this. Some would use this as an opportunity to start a cult. I need you not to be that person.
I've been learning a lot lately about the nature of my God and my master and how oddly connected it is. I'm not sure how that's going to affect the future of my tribe. But, I mean, it seems at least they have the same idea in mind. And I'm not looking for a cult. I don't even want to lead. I just want to retire happy.
And instead of a verbal answer, you just get a flash in your head of Grandpa Bickford, older than you should ever possibly logically be. Generations of little Bickfordettes all over the place, running around. Some of them listening to your stories, some of them calling you crazy grandpa, some of them behind you going because they're all related to you. You aren't being worshipped. You're being respected. You're not the leader. The mayor's over there doing all the hard work. You are honored, respected, allowed to be whoever you want to be, however sometimes foolish that is. Not every 60-plus-year-old bugbear is allowed to roll around in the yard with the children without getting somebody yelling at them, but you are. You get that flash, that happy ending.
So how do I reach this happy ending?
I'm not going to tell you it's your fate, but the answer to your question is just keep going. And to answer Chat's question, I just realized, yeah, the mayor that's over there doing all the work, Steve.
Yeah. He's been the coach for however many decades beyond his natural lifespan.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Just keep going. Speaking of which, your friends need you. You should go now.
Not how I expected this to go, but nice talking to you.
And there is a laughter that, you read that horribly corny shit about a laughter that sounds like bells. No. This is a laughter that sounds like the music of the spheres. Like the true glorious beauty, that hideous hideous nature of angels a moment ago, balanced by this moment where you almost see how amazing and stunning and beautiful they can be. Just as bum, 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 bum. And suddenly the sunlight goes out and you're standing in a ruined temple of Pelor. Just as you blink, the story comes to your mind. This is the temple that is the first temple that Klaus ever raided, killed the members of, and stole the gold. This is the temple where Klaus' horde started.
Dragons are sentimental.
You have no idea. And with that, you turn and head out, or are you going to have a moment inside this temple? What are you going to do?
He's actually going to make his way up to the altar. Kind of pause for a moment, not really sure what to do, but he's going to make a little in the ash and the crap, and using his claws, he sketches out what he remembers the symbol of Pelor to look like on the altar. And then beside it, he makes another little plinth like he did in the forest and puts the symbol of Grand Cool beside that. And then he walks out.
Maybe not. Just as you put down the idol of Grand Cool.
Just a little collection of rocks. Like
Yeah, just a little,
yeah.
your little, yeah. As you place the last piece, when this ritual is done, a little vial comes up through the floor. Like, it's not an elevator, it just right through the rock. And then goes ting, 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 and almost falls over. It glows like a glow stick, but white.
Take a look at this when I have time later.
You'll have to, yeah. Somebody's gonna have to identify that for you.
Yeah.
But you have.
I don't have Arcana.
But yeah, you make a note. You have a glowing vial from Pelor. From Pelor's angels. You didn't get to see Pelor. That would have killed you.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, so as you finish that up and get that, and then head for the door. As you head for the door, one more sentence. You turn and look, and that little creation that you've just made, it looks like it's been there forever. It looks like the most natural connection in the world.
A god of the good races and a bugbear shadow god.
Yes, they have exactly the same goals. Just different
Sort of
kit lists.
Little chuckle.
Yeah.
Kind of a, gods are weird.
And yes, Dekulele, Shadow and Light forever connected. And yes, gods are weird. And yes, gods have friends and they chat with each other. And these two have known each other forever. Everybody's got that friend, right? The one you wouldn't take home to meet your mom, but you met him for coffee. That guy. Yeah, that's the Pelor's Grand Cool. But as you turn and head for the door, we cut away to Idicus. Because Idicus is standing in front of another temple. It's not anywhere near as impressive or overwhelming. It's kind of rough hewn out of rock in the shape of a big building giving you the finger. And right at the bottom, right below the finger, is a doorway. Idicus, did you go in last time, or were you still outside?
I was still outside and I knocked.
You knocked, that's right.
Because you said it was closed.
Yes, it was. So yes, you dung dung dung, and you hear the big empty echo of a building that's been empty for ages. And then from the other side, you hear dunk dunk dunk.
If I push it open, is it open?
You put your hand on it, and it would pull, but it appears it's not locked.
I'll open it very slightly.
You look
Fred?
in. you hear in the darkness. You see, this is a really, what you see first. The temple's not even 60 feet, so your dark vision, you can see it all. It's very plain, hewn from the inside of this giant hand. The pews are made of stone. The pulpit was made of stone. Everything in here is covered in fire, in burn marks too. It's all covered in ash. And behind behind where the pulpit was, that's been burned away, but there's a shape on a wall, the shape of a person, like that. And everything around them is burned, but their outline in the area where they were standing, where they were incinerated, is the most reflective of gold surfaces, covered in a tiny, intricate pattern.
I'll open the door just a little bit and quietly like step in.
Yep.
Um,
Give me a stealth check so we can pretend we're playing a game. We did those whole first scene without a single roll.
20.
Wow. Yeah, you flow into the darkness because this place is all darkness.
As quietly as I can, I'm checking for the bag, essentially.
Okay, so you
Checking
start
if
to
it's in here.
cruise around the room. Give me a... No, don't. You don't find the bag. But as you get up near where the outline on the wall is, in that ash, you suddenly see movement. It's like somebody's taken a finger and drawing in the ash,
Mm-hmm.
but there's no finger. You can't see anybody there. And you can't read still, right?
Very limited.
Well, maybe you can, because it's only 4 letters. And you tell me, can Iticus read the word Fred?
Yes.
That's what it says on the wall in gold now because they've scraped the ash away. And then tunk, a question mark at the end.
Iticus.
There's a pause and then Plutarch. But you wouldn't probably not be able to KL. It's a name. It's a name appears.
Okay.
There's a presence here. You can feel it. Like there's something here. You just can't see it. All of a sudden, on the wall, just words and words and words and words and words, paragraphs suddenly whipping by on the wall. And then it stops.
Goblin. No comment.
In Goblin, do you read Goblin? Is Goblin a written language? It is now. Do you read Goblin?
He would be able to, yes.
Okay. You can almost hear them walk to a fresh part of the wall, like like a professor going to a new part of the chalkboard, so they don't have to erase that part and go again.
Mm-hmm.
And then in Goblin, closer to the ground, down where you are, where your eyes are, it says, "Believe."
In?
Me.
Okay.
And it's that simple. This shape starts to fill in. When Iticus thinks God, what do you see? What appears in front of Iticus?
I think the closest to his understanding would have been the scientist.
The one that made?
Yeah.
Wow.
Lord up.
Because he doesn't have a real
No.
understanding.
No, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, they literally made you, so that makes them a god. I understand. That makes perfect sense. Oof, that's creepy. Thank you. I like that very much. You just made all the hair on the back of my neck stand up. Thank you. That's a rare thing. That face, that jacket, that smell, I mean, that person with a focus that probably nobody else could understand even. But that person steps forward smiling and looks down at you, says, Iticus? Clotus.
Okay, not okay.
Do you know anything about stonework?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. And switches to goblin. I just need to rebuild this place. I'm not this god anymore.
Okay.
Can you help me?
I can try. Yes.
When you think of me, when you look at me, what do you see?
And he takes a moment.
This is in goblin, so you can, you
Yeah.
can express yourself. Yeah.
Scientist.
What? If I could do anything, what would you have me do? What would I be a god of? They jump up on the burned pulpit and cross their legs and look at you. Like they really care about your opinion.
Can you help us?
And he looks at the door like hoping that they'll come in any moment because
yeah.
holy shit.
Yeah. Adult moment. I need an adult. Yeah.
Yep.
My friends want to steal a bag. I don't want them to steal. Stealing bad.
Oh, I understand. Is it stealing if it already belongs to that person?
Not thrown out, not ours.
Not thrown out and not ours. Indeed. Do you believe in fate, Iticus?
I don't know what that is.
Do you believe that there are things that will happen no matter what?
Yes.
If somebody needed something to fulfill their fate, would you say it was theirs?
He takes a moment and just
Guess? I don't. That's a little big for me.
I understand. Let me see if I can make it simpler. If you had to save your friends, and you had to give up that, and they point at your pack sack with all the Freds and everything else in it, to do it, would you?
he immediately takes off the bag and he holds it out.
It was just a question, Iticus. You keep it. Now, if that bag was out there, in amongst all of that, and you needed it to save your friends, would you take it?
Mm-hmm. To
That's-
protect them.
That's what Cain is doing right now. Kane is saving herself and you and all of the others. To do that, she requires this bag. There is more she must do with it after that. But if ever there was an item that belonged to a fate, that belonged to a destiny, it is that skin-covered bag. The bag of two sisters, of 2/3 of the most evil fae I have ever seen.
Then you'll help us?
Indeed I will, Oedicus, as you have already helped me. Look. And they gesture up into this space that used to be the inside of this. And when you look up, it's like a big giant stone Fred of you.
Oh. Okay.
It's okay, little one, I won't use your name. And they start to laugh. It will be the Temple of Fred, and we will preach unquestionable Fredness. I'm betting this time that damn dragon won't kill us all. And you get this image in your head. This godling, whatever it was, this taunting god, is the first god that Klauth killed. The first godhead that they took for their mantle, so to speak. And in that insult to injury, they brought their only living temple here to their horde to keep it forever. And Oedicus has just resurrected that god in the lair of the dragon. And in return is the reason why the Church of Fred will now start to spread across the land.
Oedicus is just kind of confused and he doesn't fully understand what's happening.
Yeah.
So he's just kind of like,
Oh. Okay.
it's just that it's kind of just like
It's too much. Yeah, absolutely. And again, there's that gentle laughter. There's no judgment in it. It's just this gentle, oh my goodness, what a sweetheart. Right. The Oedicus response, I'm going to call it now. That's the scientific name for it. It's the Oedicus response. You've even charmed a god. So with that, what do you do as this voice, this figure starts to fade? Oh, I seem to be going.
Okay. I hopefully see you again.
You will. Just watch for... He points up and fades away. And then you are alone inside a giant stone version of yourself. Well, a giant stone version of a doll of yourself, to be accurate. Yeah. Okay.
very, very quietly, he'll just kind of walk out, turn around, and be like,
Big Red Beowulf, help.
Very quietly into the darkness. That's where we'll leave that one. Beowulf, you're outside moving you're in the spot now where you can sort of see both temples, where you at least know where they are. So you know where your two friends are. You watch as the temple to your north, the temple that used to be giving you the finger, changes in front of your eyes into a giant stone doll of Oedicus. Then you watch Oedicus walk out of a leg.
What has that boy done now?
At that moment, you hear from further up the cave. The dragon whose head started to turn at the end of the last episode has now finally gotten rotated. The tail disappears up the cavern in the distance. The head does not come down, but the breath does. You can smell it sniffing.
Breath.
Yeah, and I was going to say, it is awful. You've been smelling cinnamon, like this sort of sulfury smell. Not cinnamon. Cinnamon was the gem ones. This sulfury smell since you got here. It smells like volcano. And you can almost see it. It's so thick.
Ugh. Why do dragons never take care of their teeth? I'll never know. He just mumbled himself as he walked forward.
As you move forward into the darkness, you see Idicus come out of this one, and for the purposes of this, you see Bickford stumble out of the darkness. And I'm just going to move the three of you sort of this central area. Sort of here so you can see all the gems and the dragon head and everything else that's spread out before you. Off to the northeast, so the top right-hand corner, off the top right-hand corner of this map, is where the dragon is. Still above you in this layered cave. Not much above you. You saw the tail leave when it turned around. And as the three of you come back together, and before you've had a chance to say a word, you hear from outside a thunderous, booming voice echoing off the walls of this canyon that you're in. Fee, fi, fo, full. I'm here for Red Dragon Skull.
Do we recognize said voice?
Roll a history check. Because even if it would be a stretch at this point. That's a no.
Nope.
For Idicus, that's definitely a no. That's definitely a no for Bickford. Like that's actually you're like, Mom? Oh no, never mind.
But Beowulf got that 20.
Beowulf, I will give you this because I want someone to know it is a big, giant, explosive, larger than life version of Harshnag's voice. But huge, like it was shaking mountains.
He's gonna look between the two of them and be like, Harshnag. It sounds like Harshnag, but louder and booming, and oh dear.
And
I
as
better
you're
not be
in the
Harshnag.
distance, you can hear, and you can feel it through the ground. You feel another sort of earthquakey movement as above you that you can tell that this is the dragon moving as they lurch forward out onto the cliff. There's a and this room full of gold that you're in settles and moves, and suddenly you're halfway up your thighs in it. I mean, some of you, Idicus, are up to your waist. In gold and gems, and you kind of constantly pulling yourself out of this pile of treasure. Priceless cases falling over to the sides. You hear the roar of dragon rage. You thought this dragon was mad at you before? This roar that you hear now is like watching a barbarian who you've seen in a bar fight actually go into a rage. It's earth-shattering. In fact, everybody give me a con save.
The world very large.
Yeah.
No.
That's a no. That's a no, and that's a no. All of you lose your footing. Not from the shock, like it's not a dexterity save. It's just, it's so loud. It just not. You can't stay vertical. You cringe to the ground, trying to protect yourselves from this level of noise. And when it passes, you just hear it fade out. And as your ears are ringing, first of all, you can't hear anything. And then you hear this deep booming laugh. I came for your sisters and brothers, old nag. And now I am here for you. A blast of foul wind down the tunnel as the dragon takes off outside, screeching like a raptor into the darkness.
Ugh.
The three of you look around. Kane is nowhere to be found. You find yourself alone in a dragon's horde.
Bigford looks to Idicus, looks behind him to the temple,
Yep.
slowly raises an eyebrow and is like, "You're not a god now, are you?"
No. New Fred.
Got it, of course. Okay.
What else?
When
Claps his hands together. We have until those two finish fighting to find this friggin' bag. We gotta get moving.
I agree. Let's go.
and you start to move, I'm not even going to move you on the map. You start moving forward, heading in the only direction you haven't been on this level, which is sort of northward on this map. And you're moving forward over these piles of bones and the wings of a dragon and the skull of it looks like maybe a baby Tarrasque or something. The skull is 30 feet long. These are the prize victims of Klauth. This is the trophy room that you're in. This is why the temples are here. And as you move forward,
Just a threat.
off to one side. Oh, okay, you're going that way. Okay, that's good. And this way you guys get to move. You're heading in the direction that the dragon left. It's still but yeah, it's left. You're coming up to an opening in the side of the mountain, and a place where you could actually walk out, and it's large enough for a dragon to get out of.
Jeez, I just saw the token. That thing's fucking huge.
That is an ancient red dragon, yes, and it is technically it's only 3x3. I think they're gargantuan though. I think that should be 5x5. But anyway, it's gone. You can see its claw marks in the rock where it clawed the ground when it left. You can see the cushion it had made for itself entirely out of electrum, melted by its body heat into a huge nest, thus explaining why you can't find any electrum in the world anymore.
He stole it all.
Well, stole it all. That is the second time I've explained why all the electrum in the world isn't around. But with that, you see this opening, an exit. You also see a gray, it looks like a single stone, but it's too regular, but it doesn't look worked. What it really is, to use modern parlance, is a concrete bunker. But to your characters,
We would think it was a barrow den, probably.
a natural rock formation of some sort, because there's no signs of working the rock. But it does have a small metal door.
First thing Bigford does is he looks at the big pile of electrum and he's like, "There are people that fight these things for fun." Okay. He spies the bunker and Curtis sort of heads over to it.
Yep.
Given what happened last time, he's kind of like staying a little bit away from it.
Sure. Yeah.
Because, last time he got transported and talked to a god.
Yep.
He was wearing pants. If he was wearing pants, he probably would have pissed them.
Yeah. Well, the weird part with this is you can't imagine any god that would be this plain, right? Gods, and especially D&D gods, are pretty freaking vain when you think about
Even
it. Right?
dwarven gods aren't this boring.
Yeah, exactly. They'd do some fancy stonework or something, right? Outside, you hear, feel, sense an avalanche of stone. A mudslide, a rock slide, whatever you want to call it. And a laugh. Moments later, you hear. And you feel the shaking as the ground moves. Somebody outside is fighting so hard they just broke a mountain.
Oh dear.
We may not have as much time as we thought.
I suggest we get moving.
Yeah.
If you head towards the bunker, there's only one door. It's got a very simple iron handle on it. Who opens the
Bigford's
door?
going to slowly make his way to it, kind of looking for traps.
Wishing I had mage hand. Wishing I had mage hand. Yeah, give us an investigation check.
All right.
14. There's no traps here, but this door is... This whole thing doesn't belong here. And I don't mean in like the other things don't belong here. This doesn't belong here in time, not in space like the other things. This is not from now.
Gonna jiggle the handle.
It opens, and you smell, well, to be more accurate, you don't smell the fresh, clean air that's coming out of it. It doesn't smell like dragon ass and sulfur air coming out, which you realize now that the fresh air is hitting you is more or less what this room smells like.
Bigford, actually expecting dust, starts to cough.
Yep. There's a flight of stairs drops down. A flight of stairs drops down into the darkness. Stone-lined walls.
I guess with my dark vision, I can sort of see my entire way down. It keeps going.
It keeps going and going. Yeah, it looks like at the very limit of your dark vision, it's the stairs stop and it turns into what looks like a more natural cave. It doesn't look like it's not stone walls down there. It goes down to this natural cave.
He looks back and he's like, "This could be a way out."
Does the stairwell have does the stairwell have like this little banister that goes all the way down?
Yes. It wasn't even a spiral staircase before, but because you did that, now it is. Yes.
Cool. Beowulf gets on and
Ass rides the banister all the way to the ground. Great.
hell yeah.
Boom, down into the darkness. Gone. The other two? Idicus, you may have been out juveniled. What do you do?
Seeing that, just because I don't think he's ever seen a spiral staircase.
No, probably not.
So he's just going to start running full speed down it.
He's banking the corners. Oh, Bickford.
Being the old man, Bickford's gonna walk like a normal person.
And walk down the tunnel. So the first one to the bottom, Beowulf, you get to the bottom at speed. Give me a acrobatics check to dismount gracefully.
Sure.
Roll for full scorpion.
No.
23.
23. You come off and just skid across the room.
Do like that little slide like what that guy in the underwear did.
Yes, yeah.
The Kramer slide.
It's even older than that. That's Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Yeah.
One of them, and then Tom Cruise also does it in a movie too, I think.
Oh,
Is that Top Gun? Maybe?
yes.
Okay, it is, yeah. So I'm not quite sure whether Top Gun or Ferris Bueller happened first, but
It's a pop culture reference either way.
it is, yeah, a repeated one. But, Beowulf, you get to the bottom well and truly first. In front of you, in this raw stone chamber, is a three-sided staircase that leads to nowhere. In other words, there's a flight of stairs, a flight of stairs, and a flight of stairs. And they just go up to a plinth on top, just a flat spot on top.
He's gonna go up to the flat spot on top.
Okay, so you pick one of the... As you step on the first step, the step lights up. You step on the second step, it lights up too. Till you get up on the top.
Cool effects, man.
When you get to the top, 1/3 of the top of this dais lights up. Boop, as you step onto it. And anybody who would come down next would see you frozen in time. You just tunk, you paralyze and turn to stone. But that's not what happens in your head. In your head, Beowulf, you are back at the town that chased you out. You're watching it this time. You're watching you, your younger self, get chased out of that town for being who you are, for daring to share who you are with them. And you can see it. And you could stop it. You're so much more powerful now than you were then. This is almost like a dream, and in the dream you can feel it. All you would have to do is reach out and crush them, and they would stop chasing you. to you too.
He takes a moment to ponder. If I do what I'm thinking about doing, is that going to change anything? And if it does, is that going to be positive? Is it going to be negative? Will I be felt as a hero? Will I be looked upon as a demon? A demon inside. He hears a voice. You are a demon, but only by your deeds. Do this, the world will look upon you as a demon. Convince the party otherwise that it is after you. You may be looked upon in a different light. In that moment, he does take another moment to ponder. He does get between the group and the small running Beowulf in all his wolf glory. He pulls down the hood and gets the group to stop and attempts to talk with them. Find out why they seem to hate him so much. And he wants to see if he can try and change their minds, offer them help instead of fear. Try and be their friend instead of their foe. Figuring if he can make at least one town not fear him, he may have a place that he can visit. A place where he can settle down after his adventures are over. A place that he can call home. A place where he can go and protect a town rather than be a menace to the town. Wants to see what the town folks feel about that rather than trying to chase them away permanently.
And at first they're terrified. But then they start to listen. Then they start to relax. And behind you, you can hear with your unbelievable hearing Beowulf fleeing into the woods. But then he stops. And he comes back. And he listens to the speech from behind you. And you convince them. You absolutely convince them. Beowulf can be so much more of a help, and he is nothing to fear. You realize by the end of this speech, you're talking about a different Beowulf. You're talking about that one cowering behind you in the trees. This Beowulf, the one that they're sitting in front of you, the one that's getting a respect, that's being treated with dignity, that is not being attacked, that is not being burned at the stake, already has what they're asking for the one that's behind them. The confidence, the power, and the willingness to do good in a world that isn't good. By the end of it, the Beowulf behind you comes out unbidden from the forest and stands in front of their village mates to face their judgment. And it's one of the old ladies first who breaks the silence. She doesn't say anything. She just walks across the clearing and hugs him. And then another, and another. The men, starting with the oldest and working their way down to the youngest, because young men are vain and it takes a long time to get shit through their thick skulls, one at a time, come over and shake Beowulf's hand like an equal and apologize for treating him like dirt. can feel yourself start to fade. You're done here. You couldn't have done this as young Beowulf. They would have killed him if you had turned and made a stand. But now, by the time you leave, that Beowulf's life is changed. Yours is still what it is. Your memories are still what they are. They're not going anywhere. You got chased out of this town. But at least that one didn't. That one doesn't have to suffer. And as you fade back, you realize you're a stone statue trapped on top of this plinth. You also realize you can do some things you couldn't do before. Some things become clear to you. Some powers that you just gained for being as bold as you needed to be when you needed to be bold. You led the pack. And the fact that pack was a village means nothing. You led that pack. There's something to be learned there, Beowulf, you hear, just as you fade away into the stone darkness of being a statue. Time out for a second. Cindy, holy shit. Wow. Thank you. That was stunning. I said, here, make a scene, and you made a movie. That was
Oh my God, buddy.
mind-blowingly good. Wow.
I didn't know how to end me. Holy cow.
Oh,
Wow. That was a good
No,
one,
it's
bud.
just like acting by the seat of your freaking
I watched
pants
it. I watched you what I always tell people, just open your mouth and let it come out. It will be brilliant. And it was sheer joy to sit here and watch you, because I was watching your eyes. You were terrified. You were just like, what's going on? What am I going to say? What am I going to say? But your mouth just kept going. And I was, thank you.
I took
Thank
a
you.
deep breath and just let it go.
Oh, absolutely. That's inspiration. I'm not even going to put up the happy Storykeeper thing, because that was way more important than that. That is an inspiration. That's a reroll for the future, because that's the absolute minimum I can do. But wow. It broke my heart. Thank you.
That was, you set it up so perfectly. I just,
Knocked it out of the fucking park.
I
Yeah.
didn't do nothing. All I said was, here, paint a picture, and I handed you a blank screen. You did that, not us.
you
Thank you.
painted the picture first. You
Either
painted
way.
the background and I painted the picture.
Either
That
way.
was-
Thank
that
you
was amazing.
so much. That was absolutely stunning.
That's been coming for a long time too, I think.
Yeah. There's been this series of releases coming from Beowulf as a character, and it was so much fun tonight to see you just let Beowulf out. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you even to
Effing
the-
great. Yeah,
our
Deku
audience.
Lily.
Wow.
Yeah, you guys are right. That was a stunning scene. You should be very proud of that.
I cannot wait to watch the review.
Oh yeah. Show your friends. Yeah, show
Yeah,
people.
watch
yeah.
everybody start crying.
Oh yeah, they're gonna. Yep.
Wow.
Whew.
Buddy.
Okay, now we got to get back into this game a little bit. Because I'm a professional. No, I'm not, but I'm going to do it anyway. Pretend like I am. Iticus, you were the next one down the stairs. You ran down, so you bolt down to the stairs. But you're too late. Beowulf's up at the top of the stairs turned into stone. Beowulf's a rock. You were too late. What do you do?
I'm gonna take a moment, look at the staircases.
Yep, you see the 3 sets. None of them are lit at the moment.
In his head, he goes, okay, so to help Beowulf, I have to climb the steps too.
Yep.
So he looks at Fred, puts Fred away, grasps for the locket, and then Goblin says,
Wookie, how bad could this be?
and takes the steps.
You walk up a different flight of stairs. You can't physically go up the flight that that Beowulf went up. It's like a wall there, so you have to go around to another set. And you climb, and as you climb, they glow under your feet. Boom, 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 boom. As you look down, you see your little toes, your little metal toes. You get to the top, and you step. And if Bickford was down here yet, but he's not, he would see you turn to stone on the altar. But that's not what happens inside your head. Idicus. Cops. Cops everywhere. Chasing you. They're inside, they're outside. They know where all your hiding places are. You're not supposed to be here. You're not supposed to be inside the city. They're supposed to chase you out, and they're trying hard. They're trying to make you leave. They're trying to chase you away. But it's not little Idicus. It's not pathetic, scared little Idicus. It's not Idicus that killed the giant spider all by themselves. It's not Idicus that killed the giant in a snowfield all by themselves. This Idicus could handle this.
He, or, I, still trying to be sneaky, still trying to, I'll try and find one that's alone.
Okay.
One of the ones that are alone.
Yeah, okay, absolutely. Yeah, you find over actually quite near the gates, actually. There's a city guard. He's been sort of co-opted into this search. And he's not worried. A goblin? I mean, one goblin thief running around the city causing mayhem. You hear them talking. They think you stole something. They think you stole something of great value. But we know Idicus doesn't steal. But if they find Idicus, they're going to kill him because he stole from the princess.
He'll find the one by themselves, and he takes off his bag and comes out with it, holding it, and just drops it and hands up and goes,
I don't steal.
And a spear tip comes down. It's oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit.
I don't steal.
You don't steal. You don't steal. You don't steal.
and he'll even kick the bag over to let him.
Check to steal.
It tips over. The first thing that comes out is the Freds. Right? They don't fall out, but they're visible at the top. There's this whole collection of Freds, right? Oh no, there's Zulthus is in there.
No, yeah, there would be a Zulthus, a Bickford, Beowulf, a working on a cane.
Yeah, and a Corfell.
Corfell.
Also somewhere, yeah.
Yeah.
They're all at the top, and they're the first thing that shows up out of the bag. And for a moment, they look down and they look. Their eyes soften. But then the bag shifts a little bit. A bunch of goblin bones fall out.
I forgot about those parts.
And a couple magic wands. Ta-dunk, ta-dunk, ta-dunk. The good sticks. I think you had some of those left.
No, he only had one.
One? Okay, so yeah, one magic stick falls out. Ta-dunk. And the spear is shaking, but you see him make a decision. And he starts to step forward and pull the spear back like he's ready to attack.
Idicus is going to take it. He's going to keep his hands up, not reach for a bow, not reach for anything, just hands up.
I don't steal. I don't hurt. Talk, please.
The spear goes through you. Comes back out. Talk, please. The spear goes through you. Comes back out. You look down. No damage. No marks. He backs away from you and drops his spear. Spirit, 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 spirit. And he's like making whatever the equivalent of the evil eye is at you. And is backing away down an alley. The gate is open and undefended. He's terrified. Spirit, spirit.
Fred,
And he'll pick up his normal, his main one.
Yeah.
Fred.
Oh, friend. And he just glazes. He forgets who he is. Idicus, when you say to when you ask somebody, Fred, what is the ultimate response? What is the best thing that could happen?
They say yes.
He does this with bells on. He steps forward and grins down at you. There is not a cell in his body that is judging you for what you look like, for what you're supposed to have done, for the stuff that's in your bag. None of it. This is someone who is looking at you with 100% acceptance in their eyes. Friend! And they reach out a hand to shake your hand. What you make of that, I don't know, but they reach out their hand.
He kind of passes Fred, like he's done 100 times
Yeah.
before.
And as Fred touches their hand, the whole scene starts to fade. You're not being chased anymore. And you made a Fred. A new one. One that was scared of you, that isn't scared of you anymore. Because I think a lot of people are afraid of Idicus. And I think maybe that bugs Idicus a little bit.
It's something he's come to get used to, or has gotten used to.
Well, in that case, maybe this feels weird. Because you didn't have to get used to it this time. Because it didn't happen this time. You're accepted for who you are. It seemed like magic when it happened, but when you play it back in your head, it wasn't. It was pure, honest Idicus. It was the truth. It was who you are. And with that, the scene fades around you. Quite possibly the simplest of these. And you find yourself locked in a stone form of yourself on top of this plinth. You know that in the stone backpack where Fred used to be now, you know this because it's one of those dream things that you just know. There's a ball, a black ball. And on one side it's got a white circle and a squiggly. And on the other side it's got a window. And when you turn the side with the window up, it gives advice. It answers questions. And they're always true. You have a magic 8-ball that's real. That's what Idicus is coming back with from this. Bigford. You get to the bottom of the stairs. You're too late. Beowulf's turned to stone. Idicus is turned to stone. Xultus is going to be pissed when he finds out.
First thing Bigford does is he tries to go up Idicus's stairs
Bang.
and eats shit on the barrier.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
ow. Okay, not that one. Probably same as before. Eeny, meeny, that one.
Yeah.
Goes up the last set.
The last set. And as you step up, the lights go boom, 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 boom. You step on the top, and if there was anybody left, they would see you turn to stone. But that's not what happens. Yours starts off Oh, sorry. I got to do the old man thing now where I do that to read. I got to read my own notes. Yeah. The boss of the last mercenary outfit you worked for, the one that attacked Golden Fields, is sitting in your communal home where you are before everything went to shit, when the tribe was still all together in the forest. And he's sitting there with his feet up on your desk. And he's looking at you and says, "You owe me. You signed on for 6 months, you only did 3 days."
Circumstances got changed. I got arrested.
Are you arrested now?
Technically?
Well, technically, you owe me 6 months minus 3 days.
You know about the hierarchy clause, right? God calls, you kind of have to answer.
You expect me to believe that you got a call from a god?
I'm at 3 now.
Well, do tell.
Well, and he goes into, talks about the Allfather,
Yep.
that particular one.
Mm-hmm.
He goes into length about the whole meeting of the minds with Grand Cool. Not really meeting the minds, but that calling. And it's like, and they both want me to try and friggin' find this giant crap that they want. And like 20 minutes ago, I talked to friggin' Pelor. Friggin' Pelor. Who figured that shit out? Not me.
At the mention of each god's name, they start to fade. And when you make say Pelor's name for the 4th time, they're gone. There's a space there where there used to be a mercenary boss. And then the space starts to fill in with another form, a bigger, bulkier, hairier form. Bit of a goof, really. Steve starts to appear in front of you. Feet up on your desk. Wiggles his toes to make sure the dirt falls out on your table.
Buddy.
Nah, yeah, you're the responsible one. Remember, I get us in trouble, you get us out. That's how this works.
What'd you do this time?
Suddenly there's like a double pint in his hand. Like just out of, this is dream magic, right? He's just, and he has a big drink. What did I do this time? What did I do this time? It's what I didn't do this time. You weren't there to make me responsible, so I did shit. And he has a big drink. And you can just see the guilt on his face.
Is this about the evacuation?
You mean when they all ran away and nobody listened to anybody? And nobody took charge, even though they could have? He has another big drink, and as he brings it down, it's full again.
Bickford looks at the stein like for like half a second, just like a little bit, and he shakes his head. He's like, "Steve, we got to get everybody back together."
You're kind of busy, so how the hell am I supposed to do that?
He thinks, and he reaches into his belt and he pulls out the idol, and he's like, "Well, the big guy's been talking to me." And he's sort of like, as he's kind of like talking to the doll and to Steve at the same time.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure what to make of it, but he thinks we can do it.
Steve looks at you and says, "You're asking me to... What kind of god would have me?"
He laughs. "What kind of god would have me?"
Are you kidding?
Dude, do you remember the Draco Lich? Do you remember how much of a shit show that was?
Dude, they would fight over you. You got us out of that. I get us into shit, you get us out. Now you're gone. That's okay. You're being responsible. You're saving the world, whatever the fuck you're doing. I'm still here and I don't know how.
Have you asked him?
What?
Grand cool. You know he doesn't do favors, but he lights the way.
The first thing in the world that you're asking me to ever be serious about is a god?
I know, right? Tell me about it. I don't fucking get it either.
Why would they listen to me? They listen to you. What did you do? How did you talk to people? What did you...
Honestly, Steve, I couldn't even begin to tell you what happened, how I ended up like this. But yeah, he's been talking to me. He thinks that, I don't know, man. Every time I do something, I channel him, I feel it. I feel a connection.
I can do that.
Yeah.
Kind of, what would Bickford do? I can do that.
Maybe not that. That tends to be a really bad decision. It's
But-
more what's he thinks. He thinks hard. We're bugbears. We're sneaky. We smell bad. And we do shit people don't expect.
You just made all those things sound like good things. Is that how you do it?
Maybe.
You honestly don't think we suck?
Nah.
You honestly don't think I suck?
Steve, you've been keeping me employed for 30 damn years. No, I don't think you friggin' suck.
I have, haven't I?
Yeah, you're a good manager. You know how hard it is? Okay, I know you haven't done the fieldwork thing as long as I have, but do you know how our kind usually get along? We friggin' don't. You made a village. You kept us going. You can still do that, right?
You mean I don't have to change?
Not really. We're still bugbears. You just gotta stop feeling sorry for yourself and get off your ass. Figure it out.
He puts the beer down and it disappears. You see him start to think. Seeing Steve think is like watching, seeing Buddha juggle. It's a rare thing. And you can see it just grinding. He looks up at you. How does it feel when a god gives you something and you can see he's kind of...
Freaking weird. I know. It's, I get it. I get it.
Oh, I don't like this. I don't like this. I don't like this. But, oh, shit. I know where they all are. Oh, shit. I can see them. It's like a big map. Oh, stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it.
That's the thing.
Okay.
Keep an eye on that map. Keep an eye on that map. Remember where everyone is. Remember where they move. Collect them. We'll find them. And we'll bring the gang back together.
I'll make you a deal. I'll go find them. I'll go find all of them, and it's going to take me ages. And when I do, and when I bring them back, need you to tell me the woods are safe and that we can go home. They'll listen to home.
Bickford doesn't even he's like, I want that motherfucker dead just as much as you do. Those are our woods. Our home.
And he nods and he turns and he starts to walk away, and you can see that his shoulders, I mean, you can read him like a book, right? The shoulders, there's a newfound confidence, but it's so shaky. Like if you walked up behind him and went boo, he'd forget the entire conversation that you just had. It is so new to him, the idea of responsibility. He's even walking carefully like it might fall out. First time in your life you see Steve taking something seriously.
That didn't involve money.
And it's frightening, the level of focus he's bringing to this. It's probably too much, and he's probably going to have to back the hell off a little bit before people start to listen, but he's gone. He's on his mission. And that's when he starts to fade. And you hear the angel of Pelor laugh. That music of the spheres again. The sound the universe makes as it rotates on its invisible axles. The sound of things going right. The sounds of the good guys winning. The sounds of worlds being saved. All three of you hear this. And it's that sound that breaks the stone around you and releases the three heroes to stand on this plinth. Bickford, you notice there's something new, an oomph, if you will. On a practical side, you're capable of doing smite once per day, and it will ramp as if it was like it's a paladin thing, but it's going to ramp based on your cleric status, because you are definitely a thump cleric. So you feel, but this gift is from Pelor. You serve two gods now. You've only sworn a fealty to one, but two of them are helping you.
Okay, that's not how I expected the whole thing with Pelor to go.
Interesting.
Well, I had so many weeks to think about it. But as the three of you come back to your physical selves, standing almost nose to nose to nose, height notwithstanding, your part of the plinth is taller, Edicus. Shush. I see that smile. You come back.
It had extra steps.
Yes, it did. Yeah. You guys are eye to eye to eye to eye to eye to eye to eye, because there's 6 of them. And you can't help it. You can see for that split second as you come back from stone, you can see into each other's beings. You can see that you're changed. You're not the same. If you weren't heroes before, you are now. If you didn't have a mission before, you do now. You have to fix this world. You have to fix the broken dragons. You have to fix the broken giants. You have to fix the broken everything. That's up to you. But each of your gods, each of those things you believe in, tells you can do it. Tells you there's no one else who can. With help from your friends, some of them that come and go, some of them that are here almost all the time, but not always. You know you will succeed. You will get those happy endings that you hoped for. Whatever, Idicus, those happy endings might mean. But for right now, as you stumble back out of the bunker and back into the infinite riches of this cavern, I suspect they seem less valuable now. They're just stuff. It's just shiny coins. They don't mean anything. They don't make you better. And in the corner, the only corner of this place you haven't looked, you see a glimmer of gold like all the other gold, except it isn't like the other gold. There's something about it that draws your eyes, draws your minds. And as you walk to it almost against your will, almost, unless you resist, you see a tiny, relatively speaking, copy of a giant's flying castle. The castle itself, fairy tale spires rising into almost infinity, except it's a scale model that fits in this tunnel. The big chunk of stone attached to the bottom of it, but all rendered in gold. It's exactly the right size for you to be able to walk through the doors as if you were giants. And inside you see a perfectly rendered interior. What do you do?
Idicus is going to turn to the other two. Damn it. It would have to be in Goblin.
Yeah.
But he says,
We don't tell Zothis about being stone.
He can't know about any of that. No. Yeah, Bickford was kind of like in this sort of weird reverence for a while, and then Idicus says that he just sort of snaps back.
Yeah,
back
wait a
into
minute.
reality.
We are
Like,
who
no,
we are. Yeah.
He can never know.
Yeah.
And Beowulf, not knowing everything was stone up until that point, was like, what do you mean by stone?
We all had a revelation.
Apparently.
Yeah. It's a little weird. I don't like having purpose. Just sort of
Definitely
We
different.
need
That's
to find
beautiful. I love that.
the bag.
Yes, the bag.
Yes, the bag.
And I start to head into the interior a little more.
You step
Find
inside.
something.
You see a couple of things. As the three of you step inside, you see through one of the windows outside, you see Cain reverently walking towards a strangely empty portion of this cave. A place in the hoard where there's no gold on the floor, no silver, no gems, nothing. Just a little space, a couple of feet around. And in the middle of it, the only thing in that space, in fact, it looks like it made this space, it shoved things away from itself, is a hideous little clasping purse thing. It's like a little bulgy sack, two sides with a little metal clicky thing at the top. The two sides are clearly skin. They're clearly different skin. One is a light green, the other is a dark greenish purple, stitched together poorly around the edges. As Cain picks it up and smiles like it's the most valuable thing in the world, they start to fade.
Be the first time we'd ever seen her show any emotion.
Yes. That was not when I've done it before, it's been a mistake. This time it wasn't. This time there is supposed to be a small show of emotion. And there's a knowing. And they just disappear.
What is it with us and losing members of our team, guys?
I'm starting to think we're not entirely in this reality.
Maybe the three of us aren't, but well, hopefully we'll all catch up with them eventually.
She'll be
Us
back.
people now.
That's not the one I want. Anyway,
She'll be back.
You step slightly further into this this golden castle, and you see a table in the middle of the room. It's like a gaming table, 6-sided, and on it is a huge map of the entire Sword Coast. Beside it, there's a small table, and you can see that there was space for 6 of something, 6 little round bases that clearly had something that stood on them. And on the last one, you can see what it is. It's a tiny golden model of this ship. And there's a little plate. It's a little metal plaque that says, "Place me once, for once it's done, there will be no other one." And you look at the map and you can see the ghosts of 5 other castles that have been placed in places. You look down at this little gold piece, this little gold playing figure, if you will. And you realize that wherever you put that figure on this map is where you will go. The entire Sword Coast to choose from.
Step up from a boat.
The ship starts to lift without you doing anything. It goes through the mountain, taking you with it. It's not forcing its way, it's just passing through. You're not of this world. You're not supposed to be here. The whole thing has been an unreal trip. As you rise through the side of the mountain, you see Klauth and a gigantic version of Harshnag, every bit as tall as the Wicker Combination Giant. Harshnag at that scale, covered in blue ice that breaks as he swings his massive weapon into Klauth's side, only to refreeze over and over and over again.
At least we know who won between him and the worm.
Klauth, burning flames, melting all the ice off Harshnag, and you see his face start to boil in the heat. His beard burns off, only to grow back as the ice grows down again. He tackles Klauth into the mountainside and takes off an entire peak. The two of them disappear over the horizon, out onto the glacier. Their battle hardly started.
I don't know about you guys, but I think we should go find the ship now.
Yeah, because I don't want that big fucking jerk to find it. And yeah, we worked hard for that crap. I don't want somebody else to fucking take it. Screw that.
Yeah.
Edicus, what's your opinion?
Find boat. Find friends.
So one of you reaches for the mini, and at that moment, that you see the giant and the dragon, destroying this glacier. It's coming apart in chunks the size of towns. Fire blasting into the sky, the laughter and roar of a happy battle giant. It's like watching continents fight.
Bickford's in awe and it's like, but after a bit, he's like, okay, wherever we're going, let's it not be around here.
Yeah, Beowulf points to where on the map where he believes the ship was heading, if he recalls.
Yep.
And says, let's get there and we'll figure it out from there what we need to do next.
And
The others, I'm sure, will catch up because somehow it just happens.
It always works that way, yes.
Yeah.
With that,
Narratively, it works that way.
you reach for the mini, and as you do, Harshnag and and Klauth roll back into the valley, just a blue and red tumbling marble of ice and fire and steam. They're both enjoying it now. They are having the time of their lives. There's pieces missing off of Klauth, huge patches of scale gone. Harshnag is torn open on his cheek by the claws. They're both past the point of being able to heal themselves. Now it's getting real. And as you reach forward and place the mini on the map, that's where we'll drop the curtain on tonight.
Wow.
Holy moly.
Well, that was intense. Thank you. Thank you all. Every single one of you made that an amazing episode. It could have just been a lore dump. It could have just been a little thing, but it turned into something really, really, really special. This is what happens when you play with the same people for a long time. And I threw you all under the bus, and I got amazing scenes out of every single one of you for doing it. So, thank you. We got applause from chat. So, yeah, thank you so
We got
much.
to entertain a drunk hellhounds. It's
That
always
was
fun.
really, really special.
Yeah.
That was really cool. Thank you all so much. Sarah, thank you. Idicus, I'm not all the way in their head. I still don't know Idicus, and it makes me insane because I usually know characters by now. But thank you so much for bringing Idicus to us. I appreciate it from the bottom of my spleen. Thank you. Bison, Bickford didn't realize he cared. I thought that was a really cool moment when he didn't realize he's been the responsible one all along. I wasn't sure how we were going to do that, and frankly, I didn't know that's what we were going to do. So thank you for that scene. That was really, really impressive. I loved every second of it.
I didn't know that's where we were going either. And that's the best part.
That's the best part. You just play it, man. Just play it. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yay,
Wow.
quite a bit.
Thank you.
Wow. Yeah, I'll take quite a bit. Wow. I'll take that. I might get that made into a shirt, in fact. Oh, that was amazing. Oh, Solar Dasher. I'm just, as amazing as that whole episode was, like it was all a 10. And then there's this moment that's an 11.2. And that was while you were talking. It wasn't me. You can try and deflect this all you want. It wasn't me. It wasn't them. That was you, and it was amazing. I am proud and honored to have been here to have seen it live. Thank you. Oh, is that a little blush? Is that a little bit of a blush? Maybe just a little bit. A little bit.
Oh,
I'll take that. Well, blame it on the heat. Blame it on the heat. We're fine. We'll leave that at that. But thank you
totally the heat.
so
Totally warm
so
up.
much. I appreciate all of you more than you can imagine.
That was
I keep
awesome.
telling people I get nervous before these, and I do every single time, and it makes no sense because they're always fun and they're always amazing, and then every once in a while we do this and just blow my mind. So thank you all for that. Thank you ever so much to chat. Thank you for the banhammer. Thank you for the listening. Thank you for... It makes a huge difference. I mean, we know we had a really cool episode, but when you guys tell us that this is a really cool episode, it makes it real. And so thank you for that very, very much. Appreciate you guys every single week. Out of all that you could be doing in the whole wide world, you choose to show up here and watch us. And I cannot thank you enough. I cannot imagine that level of loyalty, and I don't know what we've done to deserve it, but we've got it, so thank you. And then the final thank you to all those mystical, magical future people on YouTube. If you watched all the way to here, please hit the like button because I'm going to assume you did. I'm drained already. I'm already off the boil and coming down, so I got to get out of here before I crash completely. So with that, the only thing left is as always, until next time, please be nice to each other. Good night.
Good night.
Use this
Night,
hand so you
y'all.
can see it.